Hey, man, it's Adam 22, and you watching ThisIs50.com.
White man can jump, crossover, all that shit, man. Coach from the sideline, get your own white boy. Why you riding mine?
G-Unit.
Come on now. Why you let what's her name? What's my homegirl name? The fuck is her name? No, not her. Mandy.
Oh, Mandy from Horrible Decisions?
Yes. Why you let her say that shit about Cardi, man?
What'd she say?
Some wild shit.
She was talking wild shit about Nicki.
That was Nicki. Yeah, Nicki.
Yeah,
Nicki. I'm like, you gonna get her ass whooped, bro? I don't think she ready for that pressure.
Nah, that's fun. That's the name of the
for
game.
You.
You gotta hype up everybody talking shit about Nicki because it's just gold. It just goes 6'9" too. It's like that's what media is in hip hop right now. You gotta just amp people up to talk shit about all these people.
It's all fun and games till somebody loses an eye.
Yeah, what Nicki Minaj is gonna do? If Nicki Minaj shoots Mandy, it's worth it for sure. Mandy's gonna make $1 million off that bullet.
Oh Lord.
Easy.
Oh Lord.
If she has a guy shoot Mandy, it'll all be worth it. I like girls with bullet holes too.
That shit is kind of sexy.
Yeah, that's my type.
That's my type. I'm really interested in girls that can handle themselves and stuff. I date a lot of dykes, and
I like a girl who can get shot and then just strip.
Oh yeah,
and just show that shit off for the rest of her life and not worry about it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey, what you think is like a crazy age? When should a woman stop stripping?
Maybe.
Or never?
Right about the time the Social Security check kicks in.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Okay, that made too much sense. Too much sense. The culture never dies. I like old strippers.
Shit, me too.
Yeah.
You need somebody you can just kind of have a good chuckle at, you know?
Yeah, most definitely. And do you think the stripping world is almost like, the way rap is right now, oversaturated, and other bitches fucking the game up for, what I'm saying, the girls that used to make the real money back in the BMF days. And,
I don't know though, because honestly, in LA, I only been to the strip club a couple times.
Oh, you're not a strip club person?
Nah, I want to become that. I know it's wild as fuck out here.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I'm not a New York strip club fan.
Yeah, okay.
Because they don't get naked.
They
don't get naked. They dance in bathing suits up in this motherfucker.
Right.
But I'm from Atlanta.
Yeah.
And the home Magic City and all that shit like that. It's the strip club capital of the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Yeah, Claremont Lounge on Claremont. Yeah. Yeah.
Where they put him out the pasture.
Yes. They about to die over there. Titties coming down here look like some dead fish on their chest.
If they told me I had like 2 weeks to live, I would probably go to Atlanta and just be in a strip club. Just lose my life out there.
I ain't mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. I'm not mad at that. Yo, where does the 22 come from?
Nah. It was just it's just a random screen name.
Okay. It was random.
I was 15. Yeah.
And you just always wanted to be 22.
Nah.
You didn't think you was gonna live to be 22.
I mean, I'd be lying if I said there was any thought into it. I just put Adam and then I put 2. And I was like, 2. I hit it again.
Just as simple as that.
And then I kind of embraced it because like people started calling me in school, and I was like, oh, this is kind of tight. This is like easier to remember than my real last name, which is Grand Mason. So I was like, just started rocking with it because
it's like Bruce Wayne neighbor or some Grand Mason.
But now everybody knows about
Master Grand Masons
and shit.
Right.
Everybody thinks that it's got to have something to do with that.
Okay.
I don't think it does.
So what's your lineage? Do white people go to ancestral.com? Do you care about who your ancestors are?
Nah.
That's just a black thing.
I mean, I don't care personally. Like I've had a little bit of conversations with my dad about like his ancestors coming over from France to Canada, and then they trickled down to like right outside Boston, New Hampshire, New England area where I grew up. But I mean, to be real, do I give a fuck? Not really.
And why? They say if you don't know where you come from, you don't know where you're going.
I mean, it would be cool to like read up on it now that I'm older and stuff. But I mean, I don't really like think of myself as like a French Canadian. I'm not really like connected to it. I don't know. I've never really been worried about anything that I didn't really have control out of like that. Like same thing with sports and shit. I never gave a fuck about a sports team. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's like I didn't choose that. I was born into the Celtics. So I can fuck with the Celtics. I can never wear a Yankees hat, but I'm never gonna be able to like rep a New York sports team. But it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like why? Why do I give a fuck?
I was thinking the same. Me being from Atlanta, I don't feel obligated to have to goddamn be down with the Braves or the Hawks or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? It's just, whatever you like. I don't think where you start off is where you're supposed to end up anyway.
People always want me to be a Patriots fan.
Wow.
Because I'm from there.
Right.
I don't care. It doesn't do it for me.
What do you care about? What's the answer? Yeah, what the fuck do you care about? What does Adam 22 give a fuck about?
Man, that's a good question. Just hanging out, having a good time, making some good content, getting my life together, working out. Nothing too crazy right now. I'm just grinding every day, to be real. I feel like I still have something I'm like really working towards, like a version of myself that I'm working towards.
What's the moment that you feel like was the breakthrough and this shit is working? This is what my calling is. I'm supposed to be a voice of the culture. Do you remember that moment?
I mean, I feel like the X interview was when shit's really started to like come together in my mind, because all of a sudden I had all these labels and managers and people in the industry talking to me, whereas before I felt like a complete outsider of the industry, which I still kind of feel like that to a certain extent, where I'm just not fully embraced, or I don't fully like make myself a part of that world. But I guess that was when I really started to feel like, oh, okay, I'm like a rap podcaster now, I guess. Like everybody's just going to think about me this way, so I might as well own it.
And so when you was inside that frame of mind where you felt like an outsider, did you feel like it was something that was unattainable, like because you didn't go to school for it? And so is it a real thing or not?
Like, I mean, I've been obsessed with rap music since I was like 9 years old.
Right.
And then all of a sudden I'm like 31 and I start to like talk to people in the music industry for the first time. And it just tripped me out, because it's like I just could have never expected that I would have like even be embraced in that world at all. And to be honest, still, like, that's why I don't take anything, like, I'm not, they were like talking to me yesterday on another interview being like, oh, like, how do you feel about being compared to Charlemagne? Like, you think you're better than Charlemagne? I'm like, that's so out of my mind to even think about being like better than somebody that I've been watching for all these years or whatever. I'm not like, I feel very, very blessed to even be in the conversation as a fucking white boy from the suburbs who just has a lot of strong opinions about rap. So it's like, I just feel lucky to be here, I guess.
Hey, we were just talking about that, but right before you walked in the door is like, I was telling my boy Wonder, I don't compare myself to it. I don't look left, don't look right. I don't care what he doing or what she's doing and shit. So don't even put me inside them type of conversations, because it's not the same shit. And I think that when you do that, you create unrealistic expectations for yourself, and you start creating a new inner hate. You know what I'm saying? You become you making yourself be a hater because you watching what the fuck he doing, and so you hoping you get past what the fuck he's got going on.
Yeah, I feel like you gotta like celebrate your wins, but you can't look at other people's wins as somehow being detrimental to you. You know, it's like sometimes I might see an interview where I'm like, damn, like, I wish I got that interview before this guy, but I'm never going to feel something negative towards that guy for getting that interview. I'm just going to be like, shit, I got to go a little harder next time, you know?
Now, when you do interviews today, what is it all about for you? Because we was having I'm arguing with this guy yesterday. He's another tastemaker, and I was like, yo, I don't give a fuck about the likes, the views, and the followers and whatnot. I just want to do good work. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I know it's important for people to see things and stuff like that, but I think that, it gets to be a little unreal when you're chasing that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you in it for? And do you feel the same?
I mean, for me, it's like there's a lot of different things, but number one is like to entertain my audience that I already have. We got 3 million subscribers. It's like I want to make content that they're going to want to watch. And to be able to take like somebody new that they maybe don't even know that they're gonna find interesting. Like I just did an interview with Bandman Kevo, who's kind of like a scam type rapper and shit. Talks about all this crazy ass scamming shit, street shit, whatever. A lot of my audience might not necessarily know about him, but like I wanted to interview him because I was confident that I could make an interesting conversation with him. A lot of my audience probably don't really give a fuck about Spider Loc like that, but I just had a Spider Loc interview that did pretty well and shit. And like, it's like anyone that you can interview. Like for me, my whole thing was I kind of used like the SoundCloud rap wave that I sort of came in on to be able to get an audience and then be able to sort of go after all these other different rappers that I grew up listening to or whatever, just to get in that position. So, I mean, number one is just to create entertaining content. So that's really like just to keep people entertained. Like when I do an interview with a fucking rap groupie, like the Selena Powell girl that I interviewed a couple weeks ago, it's like, really, what am I doing? It's like, I just know my audience is going to have a lot of fun with that. So I got to do it because I just know that they're just going to go crazy for it. Like they just find it so entertaining. It's like, sometimes I do interviews. I just interviewed this author, Ryan Holiday, is a best-selling author. He's amazing. Like I have read like a bunch of his books. I've learned a shitload from him. He's probably one of my, the most important authors I ever read in my life. And I just did an interview with him that I felt was like, from a learning perspective, I got a lot out of it. I feel like my fans could get a lot out of it. But I feel like you got to hit them with both. Like, you got to hit them with some highbrow shit, and you got to hit them with the most lowbrow shit possible. Just because, for me, it's like, this is all about having fun, really.
Now, who is Adam 22?
Shit, just a 35-year-old dude trying to figure out what the fuck I'm doing, trying to make content and live a good life, I guess.
Does it feel like a blur? Because there's so much great things happen for you, like in such a short period of time. Are you caught up with it, or you just taking it one day at a time?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like I just really want to stay as regular as possible. Like, I think about, there's a lot of people that I like look up to over the years. Like, I look up to a lot of skateboarders and BMX riders and stuff who are the kind of like prototype for what I want to do with myself. And when I think about, like, I love being in New York. There's so much fucking energy in the air, and I think about how there's all these like skateboarders over the years, or BMX riders, that you could still see Mark Gonzalez just hanging out downtown New York. He's like one of the most legendary skateboarders of all time. And when I'm in New York, I actually love being here because I feel hella not famous. Like, I do have a lot of people come up to me and shit, but I just feel like a regular guy. Whereas like in LA, it's like I'm in a big house that's kind of like secluded from everybody. I got a big fucking gate around my house and shit. So it's like, it's nice being in Williamsburg and just like staying in some random ass spot and just feeling like a regular person. That's honestly what's important to me, is just to be able to like do dope content, do shit that's going to make people excited about what I'm bringing to the table, but to never create these like stupid boundaries between like me and like just being a regular person. Because I feel like I've lost interest in so many people once they got famous enough that they didn't feel relatable anymore. Right.
What's something about you that people be surprised to know? Like, for instance, I love gospel music, and I'm really a big time R&B head.
Really?
I love R&B more than, hip hop. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't know that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, some really good friends, Genuine and Music Soul Child and shit like that, Come on. When that drop, come on.
I was in 8th grade when that shit came out, so I was.
Pony don't never get old.
No.
Come on. I became a stripper because of Genuine.
Did you really?
Yeah, when I was 19, I was a stripper, man. My like name was Bob Wire. He's small, but he'll cut you.
That's lit. You're like Cardi B.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't pop off though.
Make it gangster though. Yeah. Like, she sounds hard when she's like talking about stripping, and it's like, damn, that's a bad bitch. Like, you could be that.
That's man, I want to be a bad bitch. You know what I'm saying? Every girl I date, I've always like let them know. Look, you don't know
better than you.
I'm better than you. I'm the bad bitch in this relationship.
Don't even look at me.
Don't even do that shit. Don't even do that shit. You supposed to be taking me out, getting my hair cut, getting my nails done. The fuck is wrong with you? You got the game fucked all the way the motherfucker up. Yes.
That's real.
So things that you into that people would be surprised that, like, outside of the skateboard, we know the skateboard. We can see that shit on you.
I don't skateboard. I was a BMX rider. Skateboarding is just something I'm like a big fan of. I'm friends with a bunch of skateboard dudes and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm outrageously good at Tetris. I just want to say that.
Wow.
I'm like
on the highest levels.
Yeah, to be real, it's like there ain't that many people that could touch me. Like, you could put me in a room full of people and I'll fuck everybody up, Tetris wise. The only people I put above myself are people who are like actual top pros that I watch on YouTube, and I'm like, all right, this dude could fuck me up. But it's rare that I see somebody online that I really think could fuck me up. Like, I'm up there. That's all I gotta say. I just want to flex my Tetris skills. My Pokemon Go game is stupid. Stupid. I never stopped playing. 3.5 years in. It's kind of embarrassing, but I don't care. I like the game.
There's a lot of cool like retro games and whatnot. Like, you didn't say Tekken, you ain't say Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, I'm kind of nice at all them fighting games too. But also this Kendama is another thing that I'm really.
I saw you fucking with that when you first got in. I was like, what the fuck is that? He on some other shit.
It's a 17th century Japanese skill toy that we make them. This is in the Jumper Cannabis right here.
You made that?
Well,
this is from your company.
The factory in China makes them for us. But
okay.
But these things I'm like stupidly obsessed with as well.
Why?
It's just, I would compare it to like a skateboard or a BMX bike, where it's just this random ass object that you could learn an infinite number of things on. And it's just kind of like infinitely entertaining. And just, I don't know. I got a weird like side of my personality that just wants to like play dumb little games and just get as good as possible at them, apparently.
What kind of injuries have you sustained from being a BMX rider? What's the craziest shit that didn't happen to you on some white boy crazy bicycle shit?
Well, I mean, one of my worst ones was I was in downtown riding by myself when I was like 21, and I went to ground this bench in the financial district, and for some reason the bench like caught my back wheel or whatever, and I went fucking flying over the handlebars, and my knee, still to this day, my kneecap got all broken and it fused back together and it's all fucked up. But it was pouring blood everywhere. So I go to the hospital in Chinatown, and as soon as they start working on it, there's some crazy shooting in Chinatown. So all the fucking the doctors and nurses or whatever, they all have to leave the section of the hospital I'm in and go deal with all these Chinese dudes who got shot. Meanwhile, my shit gets infected, and like my fucking whole leg blew up, and it was my leg was so fucked that I could barely like walk for like months. It was all because my leg got infected while they were working on it. Because they had like put all this like sterile, like numbing shit in my knee, and they had a piece of steel wool, and they're scrubbing in my knee. That they're on the bone, they're on the kneecap, and I'm just looking down. I'm like 21, just like, oh, like wanting to puke.
I want to puke now. Yeah, wow, that's fucking crazy. And I bet as soon as you got better, what you do? Got right back on that bike, didn't you?
Yeah, as soon as I could. Yeah, that's real. But actually, to be real, it was that injury that kind of gave me enough space that I started this BMX website. And then that was kind of like the start of everything for me. Is I started like basically the first BMX blog when I was like 22. Mm-hmm. And I did that for basically like 10 years. Mm-hmm. And then that just led me into doing everything I'm doing with No Jumper now.
Mm-hmm. What's this weed thing that you got going on?
Man, you take it, you put it in a blunt, and then you smoke it, and that shit will just make you feel good.
Oh, you make it sound so simple. You make it sound so simple.
But now we make our own weed. Now we got this No Jumper Cannabis coming out. We did a video on...
Well, you got a grow house? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Man, we got a grow hospital. We got this building that is up like 3 hours north with this company we partner with, and it's like 10 massive room grow operation that's all just growing our weed. And we did this video like showing it. It's like when you walk into a hospital or like the most clean environment you ever seen in your life that they grow.
It sounds like it.
It's the best weed ever. Like, I don't know. It's crazy.
How did you even get into that? You know, like, where do you even start? Who turned you on?
I mean, I've just been smoking weed since I was like pretty young, and I just at a certain point I was selling a lot of weed, like shipping it back here and shit, and then that shit, like, you know, obviously. That game's all crazy now and everything. But at some point, I just had this super official, legit company come to me, and they like are traded on the stock market, and they are super official in the weed world. And they have some like deals with different influencers to basically do weed strands for them. But, you know, I would say they're not like massive brand names necessarily. And they came to us and they were kind of like, yo, like we want to do this. And I was kind of like, yeah, well, if we're going to do this, like I want to do it on a completely different level. So, I mean, I'm just taking it super serious and just... The next year of my life is probably going to just be about promoting this weed to an insane degree.
It sounds like you trying to be you set up a Master P type deal for weed. Am I to interpret that from what you just said?
I'll go with that because to be real, like I've made a lot of money just promoting other people's weed brands and shit, and that's cool because it's nice to get money from just promoting some shit that I'm already doing. But at a certain point, I was like, oh damn, I could be making a lot more if I just did my own thing. And a ton of people have their own weed strains. I just feel like ours is like way more professional, way more official. It's all legal. It's all like it's like everything about it is just immaculate. So I'm just excited about that.
But why do you feel that way? Like what separates your weed from everybody else's weed? Like besides the point is Adam 22.
Well, I mean, it's just like the level of intensity in terms of them trying to like maximize the amount that they're growing per plant, and they're showing me like, oh, like each plant has to fit into this section of the grow up, and like, you know, they got like 10, 12 rooms, and each room is turning over like 200 pounds of weed every like 2 months. So like we're producing like an insane amount of weed, and we're just getting into our first 2 dispensaries right now. So it's like, I don't know, it's way more efficient. I've been involved with a lot of weed growing over the years, and a lot of it is like really bullshit, and like really you end up with some half-ass weed as a result.
Pesticides and all kind of shit.
Yeah, and you know, I walked into that environment and like they just showed me everything about how we were going to do it, and I was just convinced, you know.
It's so many, like you just said, so many different strands of weed, and everybody getting into it now, and is like. Just like anything else in the hip hop culture, you're getting oversaturated. Do you feel that way? And how are people going to really know the real from the fake and whatnot? How do you determine that?
I just feel like at a certain point, it just comes down to like who's more convincing, who's willing to go the hardest with it. Like I feel the same way. Like I'm just not willing to do things that I'm half-assed with. Like for me, I couldn't just manage an artist because I don't feel like I have it in me to really put myself into managing an artist right now. Whereas when it comes down to doing the podcast, like I do more podcasts than damn near anybody. Like a lot of times I'm doing 5 to 10 podcasts in a week, and I just don't really see other people going that hard. And I don't blame them either because it's a fucking nightmare sometimes. But my attitude on the podcast is the same thing as my attitude on the weed thing. Like if I'm gonna do this, I'm really gonna do this. Like even the people that I work with think I'm fucking crazy because I be hitting them up too much, and I'm just like too wanting to be involved in the process, because to me it's like if I'm going to do anything, whether it's doing interviews or doing the weed thing or whatever, it's like I just want to go way above and beyond and just take it to the extreme.
What are some of the ills of being a podcaster? What's some shit that you could do without? What you hate about it?
Motherfuckers not showing up on time. That can be annoying. Doesn't really like get to me that much, but I mean that can be annoying. Just people canceling at the last minute. You know, sometimes when I'm like sitting around for like, I'll have an interview that I'm super hyped for, and I'll spend, 8 hours over the course of a week watching interviews with this person, listening to their music, getting all ready for it, and then they'll just ghost on you. And then you'll just, you have all this information in your brain for no reason.
do you take it personally and say, man, fuck it, I'm not interviewing this motherfucker. I that's it. Or do you like, oh, you know what, this is business. I'm going to go ahead and just bend to whatever
I usually keep it business. Realistically, it's like if it was some dumbass kid that like wasn't all that important and they ghosted a couple times, I might just be like, yeah, I'm over it. But if it's somebody like really important, I'm gonna go for it.
What's some dope ass podcasts that like inspired you to want to do a podcast? Who you think dope?
Rest in peace, Combat Jack, number one.
Wow.
My OG. He signed me to loudspeakers early on and shit.
Wow.
Which was a crazy honor because I was really fucking with his shit like super early on. The other one was the Juan Epstein shit with Cypher Sounds and Rosenberg. I was watching that and I was fucking with it, and I'm like, damn, like these two podcasts are super dope, but they're doing more old school rap. And I'm just thinking about it. I was fucking with Joe Rogan too, so I'm like, I like the fact that they're doing these hip hop podcasts, but I like the fact that Joe Rogan is doing the video version of it. But then meanwhile, I'm in downtown LA around all these SoundCloud rappers and shit. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking do a podcast where I start talking to all these young dudes because,
untapped market.
Combat's not thinking about a smoke perp at that point in his life, So I just kind of went for it and found my own niche in that way,
What made you want to sign to Comeback Jack and what? Because this is a bunch of people that you could have did it with and whatnot. Like, why was it? This seemed like the right move for you.
I mean, it was just a respect thing. I just couldn't even believe that he wanted to fuck with me like that. And there's a lot of dope people at that company too, like Chris Morrow. Like we're still.
Chris Morrow's dope as fuck.
I don't even think I'm like under contract anymore, but I still fuck with him and like would do whatever for him. It's like we never really like got super into like doing that much shit together, to be real. Like, cause to be honest, like I signed with Comeback and then he passed like a year later or some shit like that, maybe 2 years later. But I mean, yeah, that was just a person who kind of taught me a lot about doing interviews and just listening to, he has that real like willingness to just pry into your brain and just to be, he was extremely like empathetic. And, he's the kind of guy who maybe like grew up as sort of a tough guy and then sort of learned to be more caring and like went to therapy and like sort of opened up a lot like that. If anything, real talk, like that's kind of how I feel right now, is that maybe I need to go to therapy or something to just open up more, to just be able to be even more present. Because sometimes I feel like when I'm doing an interview, it's like, it's almost hard for me to give a shit about what certain people are talking about because realistically it's just some stupid ass food shit. So it's like, sometimes I feel like I just need to open myself up more and become more empathetic through something like therapy. I don't know. I've been thinking about it a little bit.
What made you get like have this particular breakthrough right here? Like, when did you feel like, I don't, man, fuck everybody. I'm just doing this shit because, we make money and da da da. I wanna be locked in. I wanna be engaged more. When did you feel like I think I'm a piece of shit?
Piece of shit.
Oh, that's not what you said.
No, I mean like
that's not. Because I'm saying, is that where you were coming from when you said like being more empathetic?
It's just more that like I'm aware of my own strengths and my own shortcomings, I think. And the thing is that a huge percentage of the podcasters that I listen to have benefited a lot from therapy. Like Howard Stern, I'm like a huge Howard Stern fan.
Big time.
And he talks about therapy like it changed his life so much. And to be real, I'm sitting there, I was just watching Howard Stern and Bill Maher talking about therapy and everything. And Bill Maher is kind of like, bro, I don't need that shit. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm fine. I don't need fucking therapy. That's how I feel. I'm just wondering if I'm right or not. Because it's like, to me, it's like, I'm happy. I'm good. I don't really understand what's broken about you that you feel like you need to fix, because I don't feel broken. I feel fine. But at the same time, it makes me wonder, like, is there a certain degree to which I could open up more if I went through that. So I don't know.
Does it sound like it's some interviews that you have in the past that you regret not like getting deeper with them or something?
I always try to get pretty damn deep, to be honest. Like that's just kind of my MO. Is I'm just trying to I really want to get somebody as comfortable as possible, and then really just try to get to the root of the matter. Like, and if anything, that can make doing interviews kind of complicated sometimes, is because sometimes you're interviewing a rapper who fell off, and it's like it can be really hard for me to not just acknowledge the reality of the fact that their career is in a bad spot. Because I want to get as real as possible. I want you to talk to me about what you're doing in your career, like how, but then sometimes you'll get to that point and realize like, oh, they're not willing to acknowledge that they're at the point that they're actually at in their career.
Wow.
And it's kind of like, I don't know how me becoming more empathetic would really help with that, but just in general, like I feel like I'm always trying to like drive towards the reality of the situation, whereas it's kind of their job to try to pump themselves up and sort of obscure that.
And with that being said, Howard Stern, he never fell off. What are you gonna do to keep from falling off? And if you happen to fall off, what are you trying to accomplish before you fall off?
I mean, real talk, I think everybody's always in a constant state of falling off, real talk, because it's like there is that explosive, like when people are first finding out about you, where you tend to have a big spike in terms of your awareness and stuff, but being new and hot doesn't last that long. And then it just becomes this thing where when you're making content, you know this too, you're just chugging along, trying to keep the beast going.
That's it.
And it's like you got to just keep going, and here and there you might get a piece that goes off and gets a lot of views, and you know people fucking go crazy about it. But like for me, it's like I don't know. It's like the real challenge is to keep growing as a person and being able to continue to like constantly articulate who you are and what you want to do with your life that goes beyond what you're doing right now, while also staying focused enough to keep doing what you're doing right now. Like for me to keep cranking out this content, but then also to be able to take a step back from the fact that I'm on the grind daily and say, okay, well, what am I really doing? What do I really need to do to become the person that I want to be? I'm always just trying to fucking wrap my head around that, you know? What is the next step? I'm almost 36. I don't know. It's like, I want to keep making content that sort of like ages with me. Like obviously I came in the game interviewing a lot of 18-year-olds. It's like, I don't know if I can do that forever. I feel comfortable doing that, but I don't know that necessarily that's like going to be what I want to do when I'm 45. You know?
Who should we be looking out for? Because you got a real big super post on it, the industry and the culture and what's going to pop next. Or do you not? You don't know. You're going aimlessly, and whatever where the chips may fall, they fall. But this is what you fucking with right now.
I mean, it's weird because there's so many rappers that I listen to that I love, like TJX6 or Splurge or Q the Fool or Gunu or Lil Dude. I fuck with them, but do I know that they're gonna blow up? Nah, I just think they're dope. But I mean, I thought X was dope. I thought Lil Peep was dope. I thought Pump was dope. It just so happened that a lot of other people thought they were dope as well. Sometimes it can be really hard to like, you know, I
can't call it.
I know what I like, and sometimes I'll see something I like that I'm like, oh yeah, everybody else is gonna like that too. When I saw Juice WRLD, I'm like, it's over. You're out of here. Like you're gonna explode, because I knew it was really good, but I also knew that everybody else was gonna like it. With X, I really fucked with it, and I knew he was doing something different and something new and something exciting. But I definitely didn't know that everybody else was gonna relate to it the same way. You know? But also, I'm deeper in the game now, so I feel like I have a better vantage point for what's gonna blow. But
with that being said, it sounds like it's a certain in your head a certain kind of formula that an entertainer has to have in order to get to what is it?
You know, it's got to be a combination of like the music, the personality, the image, the relatability. It's like sometimes you hear people like, we can all think of dope ass rappers that have made really great projects, but at the end of the day, the kids don't gravitate towards it. You know, it's like you have to be able to be a lot of different things to somebody all at the same time. And sometimes it's just shocking. Like, all right, the Baby is one of the biggest rappers right now.
Crazy.
Baby was around for years.
I used to see him in South by Southwest walking around in a diaper. Yeah. And let me, who the fuck is this mother? Yeah, I don't want to be next to him.
You know?
I never thought in a million years.
But he's a good success story for a lot of people.
Great success story.
The reality is when you get that initial wave, but then it doesn't turn into you becoming a superstar, Baby's proof that when you might just need to grind for another couple of years, you might need to get better musically. He had to get better musically for sure. I went back and listened to his old tapes. He's like a million times better now than he was when he was doing all that diaper shit and everything, you know? And it's just crazy to think that like he might, you know, because he don't got face tats. He don't got green hair.
Mm-hmm.
He's a pretty regular looking guy that's funny as fuck, charismatic, smart, good at rapping. You know, and it worked. So.
Hey, Adam, yo, I really appreciate you even taking the time out to come to my platform and fucking with me, man. This is really dope.
Hey,
super dope, man. I love what you're doing. But can I say something to you?
Of course,
man. The whole the way you handle that robbery thing, you know, you a national treasure, man.
I appreciate it.
You're a national treasure.
A lot of people wanted to see me go there.
No, no, bro. We need you, man. If you get that shit up, man. Let them folks have that shit. It ain't worth it.
What you couldn't see in the video is that my guy had the fucking glizzy to the dude's head as soon as that was happening too. So he's got the gun to my head, and then I'm looking at my guy with his gun to this guy's head. It's kind of weird that he didn't shoot him, but I mean. It was a weird thing for me, too, because I really felt like I was about to see this dude with a gun in my face collapse on top of me. I kind of thought I was going to get shot through him.
Wow.
Which would have been cool.
That sounds cool as fuck. I don't want to see that, but I kind of want to see that. It's confusing.
That situation was a lot more intense than it looked on camera. It looked pretty intense on camera, but I actually went to court the other day about it.
Really?
Yeah, and they told me to fuck off. They said, it's like we're meeting him with again in like 3 weeks. And you don't have to come. I'm like, what the fuck, man? This fucking justice system is bullshit.
It is. It is.
I'm trying to snitch on this dude, and they're telling me to go to court. I had to get up at 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
I go into court, and they're like, oh, no, it's like, nothing, whatever. You don't have to come back. I'm like, all right.
Man, is there anything you want to say to This Is 50, man, before we get up out here?
Man, 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson, I just want to tell you that you're my favorite rapper of all time.
Wow.
For sure. Well, I mean, you know, I got to make space for Jay and Nas, but for me, 50, I probably listen to 50 like more than almost any rapper in my entire life.
Wow.
Mega G Unit Stan, Tony Yayo fucks with me. We talk on Instagram.
Wow.
You know, I'm tapped in. Except I just did that Spider Loc interview. Here I am mentioning him. Don't go watch that if you're a big 50 Cent fan.
It's part of the story. It's part of the story. You got to take the bad with the good and the good with the bad.
I should have stayed backstage after Uzi because 50 got up there with Rocky right after we got off stage and we dipped out and we weren't even thinking I would have stayed. But.
You didn't see 50?
Nah, we did.
You didn't see him. Have you ever seen him live?
Nah, I don't think so.
In person?
Nah.
Damn. Okay.
But that's my guy right there.
Where? He watching this shit right now. He heard what you said, man, and we definitely got to make that happen, bro.
I'll be the best
50 Cent. I believe that.
Oh.
I definitely believe that.
Yeah.
Word. Well, I know you got some more famous shit to do, man, and so we're gonna go on here, get up out of here. Hey, listen, yo, like I always say, you just can't say you're real.
Yo,
you gotta keep it real.
I got some Tony Yayo bars for the people out there too.
Oh, okay. Go.
I ride around with the tray pound like it's a sport, and carve my name in the bench when I sit in court.
Sign this motherfucker to the unit now, not now, but right now. 50. Come on now.
Sign me.
New Eminem. Skittle. Get him right now. Adam 22.
Skittle.
Come on, baby. Yo, don't kiss them hoes in the mouth unless you got to. We over when we out of here, man. Adam 22. No jumper, baby.
Man, you kissing all these hoes.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man.